Welcome to our first Leadership Lean-In of 2023. Rod, does this bring back memories of lockdown?
Absolutely, doesn't it? But the good news is we haven't got to be socially distanced now.
It does make filming a lot easier when you're not.
Absolutely, but gosh, didn't we do this a lot over lockdown?
Yeah.
And it was a great way to communicate and keep people up to date with what's happening in the church. So we just thought we ought to really start this again and do this on a regular basis. So it's once a month, I think, isn't it? That we're going to be doing a Leadership Lean-In. Different leaders will be presenting it and really keeping you all informed about what's going on in Redeemer.
Yeah. So that's the plan. Over the year, there'll be various things that we'll talk about, various things that will come up. So there's a couple of things we would love to share with you during this lean-in, and then, like Rod said, we'll include different people from the leadership team. Is the plan over the coming months. And we just really want to help communicate in a different setting where it's stuff maybe that we're not always able to do on a Sunday morning or in groups. We want to over communicate if possible rather than under communicate. And so one of the things we want to talk about is some trips that are coming up. So next month, Rod, where are you off to?
Yeah, so I'm off to South Africa, to Clarens. There is a Regions Beyond conference called Legacy, but there's also some other bits added onto it. So I'll be away for about 12 days. It will start with just time with the Regions Beyond Global team, Steve Oliver Fusi and several others. So I'll just be with them praying, seeking God, and then I think you're going to be joining us, Joel, aren't you? For a time when we're having some younger leaders are going to be joining us. Joel will mention that in a moment, and then afterwards there's a conference which is open to all Regions Beyond folk from around the world called Legacy. So that's really what I'm doing.
Yeah, and so so Rod's going as part of his Regions Beyond role. So it's Mexico and now South Africa, and then it's a little while before there's any more trips, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, I think Dubai is possibly planned at the very end of May, and then, nothing until the autumn.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And so for me, this has kind of been going just at Christmas time. Steve Oliver, for those of you who are aware of who Steve is, and heading up Regions Beyond. He invited me and a load of other younger leaders. Apparently I still get classed as a young leader, so that's a win for me, to come and spend some time with him and Dave Devenish, who some of you will know, but he's an incredible apostolic gift and Bible teacher, and just really just a lot of wisdom to share. And so for me, it's a real opportunity to not only spend time sitting in a room with Steve and with Dave and Fusi and some of the other global team probably will be around as well. Rod will be around. That's a great opportunity, but also to spend time with other leaders from around the world. So I've got to know Kim a bit over the last year, which has been fantastic, and we're really excited about the team that are going to be going out to the Philippines at the end of April. That's really looking forward to that. But he's gonna be there, and people, guys from husbands and wives from America and India and Dubai and the Philippines and other and the UK as well and other places. And so it's a great opportunity to get to connect with other people, to build relationships with other people. So really looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's going to be great, and a great kind of growth opportunity for you as a leader to establish things more. So
just like what we've said about Rod, you going to different places, that through you going to Mexico and going to other places, that actually Redeemer will be blessed through that. Yeah. I'm really hoping that me going, even not as this big prophetic gift or anything, but as someone going in there to connect with other people, will be a real blessing to us in our local church.
Oh yeah. Your development as a leader is really important to be in these sorts of settings. So we will all benefit.
And so Steve also invited Alex along. Most of you will know Alex, some of you won't. So Alex is coming to that next generation thing, as he's just working out what does the future look like for him and for Lucy. So Steve invited him along, and Alex has managed to get time off work and get himself there. So him and I will be travelling together, so we go out a few days after Rod goes, because he's there for the global team meeting. So we'd love you to be praying for Rod as he goes, and praying for Alex and I as we go. I'm really I've never been in that setting before, so it's a new thing for me. But I really want God to speak and shape me and be challenged and just stirred up by what God is doing in the nations, but also by what He wants to do here. So do be praying for us, please, as we go. We really value your prayers.
Fantastic. I'm talking about being stirred up. Didn't we have an amazing week of prayer?
Yes.
Back in January. I don't know how many of you got involved in that. I know many people were there. I mean, the first night was packed out.
I mean, it was for the whole week. It was our most well attended.
Yes.
That's always a sign of a great week of prayer, but it was our most well attended week of prayer we've had as Redeemer. It's fantastic.
Numbers really help actually when you pray, but also the sense of the presence of God. And what was coming through was really get hold of God, just like Mark shared with us about the woman with the issue of blood, and she reaches out and she gets hold of Jesus' garment, and so she didn't stay in the crowd. And God was saying, don't just stay in a crowd around Jesus, but push through and get hold of Him. But do that as a church. And that's kind of live with us and stay with us. And we're thinking, what does that mean for Redeemer over this year and beyond, really?
Even with that intentionality of grabbing hold of all these other people like Mark shared, who are touching Jesus and bustling past, but aren't receiving in the way that woman does. Like we do want to be deliberate in what we're doing, just like we talked about through January with our church culture series about wanting to be intentional about how we love people and how we honour one another, and the zeal with which we do it, with which we serve the Lord, and how we want to be a blessing to our town. So I was really encouraged by that week of prayer.
It was brilliant, wasn't it?
And just say, we introduced the leadership team at that family night back in January, and so we've started meeting together once a month. I've really enjoyed the couple of times that we've had. And so when we met just at the beginning of this, or the last week as this goes out, we were talking about just the prayer life for the church and what that's going to look like going forward. And so so we don't want to just assume that everything's hunky-dory, week of prayer every term, that's all we need. Actually, we're thinking of actually what do we do in our prayer times before church, during the week, how we communicate what's going on, and just we do want to be known as a praying church.
And prayer is so important, isn't it? If we're going to achieve all the things that God wants us to achieve, and kind of fulfill our destiny in our future as a church, then it's going to be through a lot of hard work, but a lot of praying and seeking God, definitely.
So that's then there are other things that we'll be talking about and discussing. So next time we'll probably have Adlai, maybe Mark will join him to talk about what we're thinking about for the prayer life of the church going forward. So don't miss it next time. And it's probably just worth reflecting just briefly on last week it was last night as we recorded, we had Colin Nichols and Paul Simpson with us. And it's great to have such a big turnout from us also from Trinity and Littlehampton as well. Rod, what were your thoughts?
It was lovely to hear their vision, to see what Colin is now doing, and being part of what Paul is in terms of their kind of apostolic outreach. What I really took away from it though was like, Colin is one of us, he came from us, and we can kind of be rightly proud in Christ that actually, many of us have had input into his life, as well as him obviously input into our lives. But look what God can do, from little old Worthing, God can send you around the world, the other side of the world, and grow a kind of an incredible teaching ministry. And I was really impressed with what he's doing and how he's influencing so many people, mainly in Africa, but obviously not just Africa, some of those other places, Pakistan, another place was mentioned. So he's one of us, and I was really proud of Colin and what he was doing. And I felt like I kind of owned it because he'd come from us. So that was probably my big takeaway from the evening. How about you?
Well, it's just really, I loved the stories, and just hearing about things that are in a different context. I was just being challenged by what he was talking about, even with the witch doctor, and just there's some different stories that if you weren't there, you've missed, and you just make sure you come to the next one that we do like that. But actually, they were just encouraging us as a church here to have other voices coming in from outside. I don't think we think this, although we can have blind spots and we don't realise. But just we do want to hear from people outside of us, so we love having Fusi input into us.
Absolutely.
As we go to Kim in the Philippines, me and the team are really looking forward to being blessed by them. We're not going to fix all their problems. We're not going as like these saviours to them, but we're going to serve them and be a blessing to them. But we're really looking forward to learning a lot from them as we go and just spending time with them. So I've been really encouraged just to think about what what are we doing in the nations, and what are we doing with the nations that are in our town? How are we serving,
Brilliant,
and how
yes.
can we include people and raise leaders up?
Yeah,
We want just like white, middle class,
Yes.
mainly like people. And so we'll see what that looks like going forward. But it's a real
Absolutely,
encouragement. Mhm.
Great.
Well, so like I said, so next time we'll be probably talking about the prayer life for the church and just sharing some other news. We'll obviously try and update about what's going on with what's happened in South Africa by the time we record another one of these, and we'll do that kind of thing on a Sunday morning as well. But do join us. These are going to be really just helpful times for us, like we've said already, just to communicate what's happening, to keep us all on the same page together, to let you know what to be praying for, and we'll hopefully share some stories as we go.
Absolutely,
We'll include some different stories from different people in the church, just to encourage us, so prayers answered of what God has been doing. So join us next month. We don't know if they'll be on a set Sunday, but sometime in March we'll let you know when. Be back here on our YouTube channel. We'll see you then.
Okay, bye.
Bye.